We'd like to welcome you all today to this webinar, BILT Future Product and Roadmap webinar. We appreciate all of you that have taken time out of your busy day, especially as we get toward the end of the calendar year. We know everyone is very busy getting ready for the holiday seasons, and we aim to make great use of this time. One of the most common questions that we get by our customers is what's coming in the future. At BILT, we are an innovation company. That is very much our DNA. And we thought it wise to take a few minutes to walk through with you just some of the key things that are going to be coming here in the future. Let me recap just a couple of things. I start out here by showing just a small sample of the brands that we are so privileged to support in our business. We've listed there just a handful of the most recent ones that have come in. We could have added other brands in here like BJ's, which we're so excited to be working with you all at BJ's, Container Store, and others, and the list goes on and on. But the reason why I started out just showing these brands is I want to reinforce here in the beginning the why of BILT. Our purpose is to create an experience that is so enabling, so empowering, that it creates promoters of your brands. We continue to measure our success as a team that way, and we focus everything we do on the efforts to make promoters of your brands. Your brands will come back and look to buy more from you. They are less price sensitive, and most importantly, they refer their friends to you all. And so I start out by showcasing what our success looks like. Is we want your brands to be successful, and we're honored to partner with you. It's important also for you to know, just from a growth of the BILT platform, growth is important. We're now nearing the 10 million user mark. We're still used today in about 170 countries. The growth and exposure that's happening continues. We are honored also at some future point, maybe we can show a little bit more around the index that we're creating that just shows, this part of the customer journey and our greatest brands that are really innovating in it. And even despite very difficult economic circumstances that I'm sure all of you are feeling, we do want you to know, and it's important to know as a reinforcement to your own investment, that 9 out of 10 of our core index of customers, all of them have continued to add and grow their business with BILT this year. We again are very honored to partner with you all, but we want to reinforce the fact that we're being very successful, and you as our customers are rewarding us in that process. So thank you. We're going to talk about 4 different topics today, and I'm excited to be joined by one of our account directors, Liz, who some of you already know. She's going to work with me here and walk you through these 4 innovations. And so what I'm going to do is first turn the time over to Liz, and she'll walk you through the first 2 of them. If you have questions, let's hold them until the very end, and there will be plenty of time for those questions. We're happy to walk through those things with you. This is also being recorded, so if you feel like you need a copy of it and want it to show to some others, happy to do that. Or if you want a more detailed discussion, we're happy to do that as well. So let me turn the time over to Liz.
Great. Thanks, Nate. So as Nate mentioned earlier, BILT is looking to create promoters of the brands that we serve through that instructional experience. And we've known for some time that how users are interacting with their products during the instructional experience. And we're creating promoters of the brands through that really great customer experience and a really great product experience in between when products are purchased and when they're used. And so we've been curious on our side, with those really great product experiences, are users more likely to investigate and then purchase additional accessories with the products that they're having this great experience with? So we've been testing an accessory feature to increase those customer touch points in that customer journey. You'll see here we've gotten some additional touch points with our products in that pre-assembly or pre-instruction experience on the BILT product homepage. You'll see different touch points during the instructional experience, and then call outs post-assembly or post-instruction experience. So the screens that are included here, we've been testing with 3 different customers. So Breville decided to test with their Bambino espresso machine. So we worked directly with Breville to see, what products they wanted to include in the test. what accessories they wanted to include in the test for their product. With those accessories and during the instruction experience, where they wanted to include certain accessories, were there different touch points that were important or call outs in the instructions that made more sense for different accessories. And then we also worked with them on where they wanted users to go when they were investigating and learning more about these accessories. So with Revel, all of the accessories that they have on their Bambino and Bambino Plus page go directly to the product detail pages for each of these accessories. So users could purchase and learn even more about accessories and additional offerings with their espresso machine. And so as we go to the next slide, we're still testing with the 3 customers, and we're still in that research phase, but our research and our testing is proving to be really promising. So we are seeing really strong lead rates from the clicks from those different touch points in the instruction experience, specifically in that post-assembly experience. We're seeing an average of 26.7% of a lead rate from clicking on the different accessories post-assembly, which is 5 to 7 times more effective than the average click rates for accessories. And so with all of our customers at all of the different touch points, our average click-through rate is 6.4, which is really amazing. We know that with the positive experiences, users are super curious about purchasing more of those accessories related to the product that they know and love and are using. So this could have a really big impact for revenue generation for products that you have on BILT. We're still going to be testing this accessory function with a couple of other brands coming up, but this offering is going to be available to everyone starting Q2 in 2024. You'll see a bit more communication on when it's going to roll out for everyone. But if you're curious about, what products you would want to include or accessories you would want to try with different products, definitely reach out to your BILT account manager, and they'll be able to help guide you through what that process can look like and what accessories may make the most sense for your products.
So Liz, if I can jump in and add something to that, referencing what I started out our conversation with everyone, you all know that our design teams, we actually go through and create your instruction experience, and then you all approve them. But underlying that thinking is we are trying to take that journey that the customer has and make that first experience a wow moment. But as Liz said, we have found that the higher that wow moment is, the more likely they are to aggressively want to do more with your brand. And if you think in your own experience, hey, when we have a great experience with a product, we tell others about it. And so it's not so much a surprise. But we want to build toward this crescendo. First off, it's a sense of accomplishment that people feel, whether they are a professional doing it as a part of their job, could be a white glove service, or someone's an actual technician or something. But we want to provide opportunities for them to continue that relationship with you. So as Liz said, the research that we're doing around this is delivering some pretty compelling results. And we believe that this is going to give all of you opportunities, whether you're on that DIY side or that pro side, opportunities then to position other things to those that are in front of your products and start impacting your top line in a very, very profitable way.
The second feature that BILT can touch on is around sustainability and ESG initiatives. So we know that many of our customers are exploring and implementing tactics to help support sustainability initiatives for the company and their shareholders. And with customers that are already on BILT, we know that we can support those customers in that sustainability initiative through paper reduction and cost reduction. With the instructions that are already digitally available on BILT, you can reduce paper inside packaging immediately if you want to. And so we have a customer, Chamberlain. They're a longtime BILT customer, and they do garage door openers. And they were curious about reducing product cost and looking at how they can support ESG initiatives with their company. And they have found that BILT is the superior instructional experience for their products for both DIYers and professionals. And so they wanted to test out to see what they could do by reducing paper in their product, because it was scalable at no additional cost. If anything, it's going to save them money and resources in materials. So what Chamberlain did, they have been reducing paper inside their 40 of their SKUs, which covers almost all of their product offering. And so they've kept paper warnings and legally required information inside their packaging, but they've removed the assembly and installation instructions from their paper manuals inside packaging. And so as a result, their manuals have shrunk by 60%, which is saving them millions in materials and has already saved over 2,000 trees to date. So this is something BILT can immediately come in and help with those initiatives. So if you're curious about how you can report on these initiatives or how, BILT marketing and touch points can help with that reduction, we'd be happy to chat through what that can look like for you too.
So we oftentimes refer to this, everyone, as sustainability, meaning instead of replacing the customer experience with something that's worse or maybe that costs you money, you as brands can engage in this process and you actually save money, but replace it by a far better experience. And then if we refer back to the talk track that Liz just delivered around how can we enable you to harvest that experience more, this is a win-win for everyone in the process, especially your end customers. But because it is self-sustaining in its own way, it's something that you can perpetuate. So we've had a lot of brands come back to us in the last 6 months, as Liz said, really asking about guidance and best practices around either less paper or paperless. And you'll all be excited to know that we have brands that are engaging in all of those right now. So at a future point, we'll be hosting another webinar where these brands will be able to share with you their best practices and things that they're learning to allow them to be more self-sustaining and to perpetuate their investment. One of the questions that we're often asked when we think about the accessories that Liz talked about, and I just want to underscore, is while we support this process of prompting the user, and we'll be launching that in Q2 of next year, it's up to you as a brand to decide where that purchase process actually happens. We are, of course, agnostic to where that purchase actually happens, but you'll have plenty of opportunity to decide where makes the most sense for those accessories to be purchased, and then fulfillment will go on from there. Thank you, Liz. So another feature that we have recently launched that you may be aware of is what is called project sharing. Now, this functionality, essentially, if you go into BILT, whether it's on a tablet or onto a smartphone, you'll notice this new icon at the top that allows you to share this information. What we have learned is that when it comes to DIY related things, people would most often use this just to tell somebody, hey, look at this cool thing that I'm doing. These instructions were great. It was so easy to assemble this product, right? We want them talking about your brand. And so we're trying to enable them to share the experience with your brand in an easier way. So social sharing on that DIY side, but also if there's a project that maybe multiple people want to do together, whether it is for a DIY, if you've got, some jungle gyms, or especially if it is a pro-related project, if you're an electrician or a plumber or something, there may be more than one of you that are attacking that project. And so we want to make it easy for someone to hit sharing. There's a QR code, so someone else with their smartphone can just grab that QR code, and then they can load in the same set of instructions. So this is based on a lot of customer feedback that we've had both from you as brands as well as from end users here over the past year and a half to 2 years. So this is functionality that's available today and should be a great opportunity to just magnify the message of your brand to prospective customers. The next part, I am very, very excited to announce. Some of you may be aware here about 2-3 months ago, Apple announced that they will be launching at the beginning of next year their new Vision Pro AR/VR headset. They refer to this using the terminology of spatial computing. And we're announcing today that BILT will be enabled for the Vision Pro headset. This has a lot of different use cases. And of course, we're all familiar with Apple. There's certainly a big piece of this that is entertainment value. But as a business, we've kept an eye on the AR/VR headsets since our inception and tested on a regular basis. different headsets. This is the first one that we feel very confidently now turns a corner and will be quite a revolution, especially in the pro space, or if you're looking at things, white glove service. How do you train and educate people to do tasks in a fully immersive way? Our experience thus far is that this is a game-changing piece of technology, and we have made the commitment when it launches, BILT is going to be available for the Vision Pro. That's still a little ways out. Apple has not announced an actual date. Their website just says that it will be something in early 2024. And so based off of those things and the timing that we have, we will determine what level of products or how many of them are available on the Vision Pro headset. But especially if you're looking at enabling people that are pros at their jobs, we are confident that you will see this as a game-changing piece of technology. And we are proud and looking forward to supporting this great technology going forward. There is lots of information on Apple's website. They have a lot of videos out there. Periodically, they'll have press releases, but there's a lot more information that you can get directly from them. And then at the time of launch, we will likely do another session like this and give you more information on how it applies in the use cases and how it can be a very game-changing experience for your schoolhouses, for the training that you do, whether it's on-site or remote. But a lot to look forward to there, and we'll look forward to walking you through that when the time comes. That is the conclusion of what we wanted to go over with you. So again, just to repeat, the 4 areas that we talked about were accessories, which will be available as a new offering in Q2 of next year. Secondly, would just be the overall sustainability, which is more of a movement, if you will. So there are a lot of best practices that we can share in that process, but that's something any of you can begin on now, just like several of our other brands are doing. Social sharing is available today, and then look forward in the first part of 2024 for support for the Vision Pro headset. With that, we will open it up to any questions that you may have. Liz, what are common questions that you have gotten from customers here in the last week or so?
The common questions that I see, at least from sustainability, because that's something that we've been talking with some of our customers with on business reviews that we've had, how Chamberlain was able to work with their legal team to go through that function. And so we can connect folks with the Chamberlain team, and they have a presentation of how they were able to work with their legal team, and then the tests that they did to prove to the legal team that BILT was the superior customer experience, and how they're measuring their paper saving, and how that is ultimately it's helping BILT pay for itself, essentially. So those are some of the questions that we get most often, and how Chamberlain tested and was able to prove out the case to other departments at Chamberlain to make this a possibility.
That's right. And I believe we have created an ROI calculator if you just focus on that sustainability part of it, looking at just what your paper costs are and so forth. So yeah, that's certainly something that we can share with any that are interested. So thank you. A question that just came through was, are there any plans to allow the capability to embed BILT in another brand's application? And the answer is yes. About 4 years ago, started testing that scenario, mainly from a technical standpoint, but also from a user standpoint, because we recognize that there are some use cases where if you have a very controlled environment, know all of your end users, by name, so to speak, and you already have a tool that you're engaging with them, that may actually be the proper thing to do and the right step for you to take. So that is something that we are continuing to work on today. We will be announcing something here in the not too distant future as to a release date of when that's possible. What we advise companies to do is, if you're interested or have questions, reach out to your account manager and we can walk you through the experience that we've had. Again, we tested it starting a couple of years ago with a handful of brands, and there were some where it worked very well, and there are others it actually didn't. And that tended to be if you had users that are not so specifically tied in their job to your specific brand, usage was much, much higher if they had a neutral place to go to. And that's why, again, in the very, very beginning, when we created BILT, the early customers all asked us to create a neutral environment that was supportive of the brands, that was, if you will, loyal to the brands. And so we created it for that purpose, so you can get maximum usage without 500 brands saying, hey, everybody download my own individual app. Periodically in the last 12, 13 years, it's rarely successful. Very, very, very rarely. But for some brands, it can be the absolute right thing to do and be very successful. So if you've got questions about that or you're thinking about that, please reach out to us. We'd love to walk through our learnings of that. But the answer is yes, that is something that will be available in the future. So another question came in here, Jeff. Thank you very much. Are you looking at adding an AR portion to BILT instructions? I will caption this with that as the intention. Obviously, having something like a new AR/VR headset in that more immersive experience, that will be very much a part of it with Vision Pro. We anticipate that there are going to be some pieces of that will also become available on tablets and smartphones. We're still working on that, so I don't have a date yet that we can give you, but certainly that is the direction that is heading in. So I look at that more as just a when and not an if. But you should know that that's something that we're in active testing and working on right now. Another question in here: if we use the accessories capability later next year, will that demand or that request go to the brand's website or to a retailer? That one is going to be up to you. We look at that as that's something that you'll be engaging with us to do to support that functionality, and you'll have essentially an agreement that allows you to do that. But where you actually send that is going to be up to you. We want you to do what's best for your brands and the relationships that you have and the great partners that you work with. So we look at that as just being agnostic, and you can decide where that shopping cart, if you will, is actually fulfilled, and then who supports that shipping. So that's something we're looking forward to. Another common question, I'm going to go back to the sustainability one, is if we are looking to gather more best practices around how to approach that, is there a way that we can facilitate that? Absolutely. And I'll answer this with referencing a couple of meetings that I've had in the last 6 months with some of our customers that are public, that express a lot of frustration that there are continually sustainability requirements are pressed down on them, and brands are frankly trying to work very hard to find things that they can do to do something in that area. But sometimes they're very expensive capital investments, et cetera. And so if you're looking for quick wins, sometimes those are hard to come by, of things that are real and meaningful as opposed to just busy work. And we've been delighted to just engage with brands and help them see this is something that is low-hanging fruit. People love it. Remember as well that a backstop to this is our core measurement that we do in BILT about how successful we are at supporting your end customers is with Net Promoter Scores. And our Net Promoter Scores, BILT itself, are still among the highest in the world. And that's important for you because it means that people come away from a BILT experience not just neutral, they come away ecstatic. And our expectation is they come away ecstatic about your brand and appreciate what you're doing for them and that long-term product that they're going to use. But there's also some appreciation as to what we're building from a BILT standpoint. So we look at it as let's run the math on it, but it's something that you can take a lot of courage. It's definitely the direction of business. As Liz said, we have some phenomenal brands that are already moving in this direction anyway. So the water's warm, come on in, and we're happy to support you, but we can also enable best practice sessions if that's something that's an interest. Okay, are there any other questions? Liz, was there anything else that you thought of?
No, I think you covered it all.
Wonderful. Well, to everyone that was able to join today, we appreciate your time. If you have any questions, again, please reach out to your account manager. We're happy to jump on the phone and answer any of those things. But the future is very, very exciting. A lot of turmoil in the world, but the opportunities to create a great experience for your customers and harvest that in a very unique way are very real. And we look forward to partnering with you and the growing number of brands, both on the consumer durable side, as well as the more technical professional side, government entities that we now consider great customers and partners. We look forward to working with you all. Thanks for joining today.